Welcome back to the Health Stream channel, everyone, especially to those of you tuning in as we gear up for Thanksgiving. Want to navigate the holidays without feeling like you're running a marathon in a snowsuit. We've got you covered. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of savvy listeners who are ready to thrive, not just survive, this holiday season. All right, let's dive deep into holiday stress. We've got some fascinating research and articles lined up for you, with practical tips and surprising insights into what makes the holidays so, well, stressful for so many of us. Our mission to help you not just survive the season, but actually enjoy it. We often hear about holiday cheer, but the reality is that for many, the holidays are anything but merry. In fact, a recent study found that a whopping 89% of Americans report feeling stressed or overwhelmed during the holidays. That's almost everyone.
And it's not just a case of the holiday blues. The impact of holiday stress is significant. Research shows it can manifest in a variety of ways, from sleep disturbances and digestive issues to increased anxiety and even strained relationships.
So, before we jump into solutions, let's unpack exactly what we're dealing with here. What are the common culprits that tend to hijack our holiday joy? I think we all know the feeling of being completely overscheduled during the holidays. Parties, shopping trips, family gatherings. It's like suddenly everyone wants a piece of your pie.
You're hitting on a major stressor there. The research consistently points to lack of time as a top concern for people during the holidays. And interestingly, it's often reported as more acute for women.
That makes sense. Think about the traditional division of labor,
Yeah.
especially around the holidays. It's still often the case that women are shouldering the bulk of the responsibilities, the cooking, the cleaning, the gift wrapping, the endless coordinating. It's no wonder they're feeling the squeeze.
Absolutely. Studies have shown that women are nearly twice as likely as men to take on the majority of holiday meal preparation and cleanup, for example. That kind of unequal distribution of labor can definitely add to the feeling of overwhelm.
And let's not forget about the financial pressure cooker that often comes with the holidays. Gift giving, travel, entertaining, it all adds up. It's no wonder so many people end up feeling like they're running a holiday deficit.
The financial burden is a significant stressor for many, particularly for those in lower middle income brackets. And it's important to acknowledge that this stress can really impact people's ability to fully enjoy the holidays.
Right. It's tough to be festive when you're constantly worried about your bank account. And then there's the elephant in the room, or maybe we should call it the marketing monster under the mistletoe. The relentless commercialism of the holidays.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, there's another ad telling you what you need to buy to make your holidays picture perfect.
It's interesting how this commercialism feeds into our deepest desires and anxieties. We want to create magical memories. But the messaging often implies that those memories require a certain level of spending, a certain aesthetic, a certain perfection. And that can be incredibly stressful.
It's like the holidays have become this performance, and we're all pressured to play our parts perfectly. And of course, no conversation about holiday stress would be complete without addressing family dynamics. While spending time with loved ones is often the highlight of the season, let's be real, it can also be a major source of tension.
Family gatherings often bring up a lot of complex emotions and dynamics, past hurts, differing opinions, unresolved conflicts. They all have a way of bubbling to the surface during the holidays, and that can definitely create stress, even in the most loving families.
Exactly. And let's not forget those unwritten expectations and family traditions that can sometimes feel more like obligations than joys. The pressure to recreate grandma's famous casserole even though no one actually likes it, or the expectation that everyone has to spend every single holiday together, even if it means traveling across the country and depleting your savings.
It's fascinating how these traditions, which are often meant to bring families closer, can sometimes end up having the opposite effect. When traditions start to feel restrictive or obligatory, they can become a source of stress rather than connection. It's like we're trying to squeeze a year's worth of family bonding into a few short weeks. No wonder it feels overwhelming. So, we've uncovered some of the major stress triggers lurking beneath the tinsel, but here's the good news. There are absolutely things we can do to take back control and create a more joyful, less stressful holiday season.
Okay, so less bah humbug. More happy holidays. Where do we start?
Well, let's go back to that feeling of being overscheduled. One of the most effective strategies is simply being more intentional about what we commit to. Instead of saying yes to every invitation or obligation, we can choose to focus on the events that truly bring us joy and connection.
Give ourselves permission to skip Aunt Mildred's annual fruitcake competition if it's just going to leave us feeling drained.
Exactly. It's about setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing what matters most to you. And it's not just about saying no to things, it's also about being realistic about how much we can actually accomplish. Trying to cram in a year's worth of baking, decorating, and shopping into a few short meets is a recipe for burnout.
Right. Maybe this is the year we finally ditch the elaborate gingerbread house project and opt for a simple gingerbread cookie decorating party instead.
I love that. It's about simplifying where we can and finding joy in the process, not just the end result. And speaking of simplifying, let's talk about gift giving. The pressure to find the perfect gift for everyone on our list can be a major source of stress, not to mention a drain on our bank accounts.
Yeah. Who hasn't spent hours wandering the mall, desperately searching for something, anything that doesn't scream last-minute gift?
And the irony is that research actually shows that experiences tend to bring more lasting happiness than material possessions. So, instead of stressing over finding the it gadget or toy of the season, maybe we can shift our focus to creating memories and shared experiences.
Okay, so instead of another sweater they'll probably never wear, we could gift them tickets to a concert or a weekend getaway.
Exactly. Or how about a cooking class together? Or a membership to a museum? These types of gifts create opportunities for connection and shared joy, which are often far more valuable than another object they have to dust.
And for those who really want to simplify, there's always the option of a family secret Santa or a donation to a charity in someone's name.
Those are great ideas, and they can be especially meaningful for people who are feeling the financial strain of the holidays. It's about shifting the focus from material goods to thoughtful gestures that truly resonate with the recipient.
So, we've talked about setting boundaries, simplifying our to-do lists,
Yeah.
and rethinking gift giving. But what about the emotional roller coaster that often comes with a holiday?
Well, just as we set boundaries with our time and commitments, it's important to set boundaries with our emotions as well. It's okay to acknowledge that the holidays can be a difficult time, and it's okay to not feel joyful all the time.
So, give ourselves permission to feel the full spectrum of emotions, even the not-so-merry ones.
Absolutely. It's about being kind to ourselves and acknowledging that it's perfectly normal to experience a mix of emotions during the holidays. And if difficult feelings arise, we can choose to respond to them with compassion rather than judgment.
Okay. So be gentle with ourselves. What else can we do to navigate those tricky emotional waters?
One of the most powerful tools we have is self-care. And I'm not just talking about bubble baths and face masks, though those can be lovely. I'm talking about making a conscious effort to prioritize our well-being throughout the holiday season.
What does that look like in practice? Because let's be honest, me time can feel pretty elusive when you're juggling holiday commitments.
That's true. But even small acts of self-care can make a big difference. It could be as simple as taking 10 minutes each morning for a quiet cup of tea before the chaos begins, or going for a walk in nature to clear your head.
Or maybe it's turning off your phone for an hour each evening and curling up with a good book instead.
Exactly. It's about carving out pockets of time for yourself, even amidst the busyness, to recharge and reconnect with your inner calm. And don't underestimate the power of movement. Even a short burst of exercise can do wonders for your mood and energy levels.
Yeah, nothing like a good run to blow off some steam after a day of navigating family dynamics. And let's not forget about the importance of sleep.
Absolutely. Sleep is essential for our physical and emotional well-being. It's when our bodies and minds repair and recharge. Yet, it's often the first thing to go during the holidays.
Yeah, between late-night parties and early morning shopping trips, it's easy to end up running on fumes. So,
Yeah.
prioritize sleep. Got it. What if? Despite our best efforts, we find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, like we're about to lose it in the middle of a holiday cookie swamp.
Well, first of all, it's important to remember that you're not alone. The holidays can be a challenging time for many people, and it's okay to reach out for support if you need it.
Right. Talking to a trusted friend or family member can sometimes help to process those feelings and gain a fresh perspective.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, there are also many professional resources available, such as therapists or counselors who specialize in stress management.
And let's not forget about the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's available 24/7 and can provide immediate support to anyone who's struggling.
Yeah.
So, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the various stressors that can hijack our holiday joy, but also some practical strategies for reclaiming our well-being.
And I think it's important to emphasize that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one person might not work for another. It's about finding what resonates with you and creating a holiday experience that feels authentic and joyful.
So it's all about finding what works for us and giving ourselves permission to do things differently. No more cookie cutter holidays.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And, it's interesting how we often get caught up in the shoulds of the holidays. We should have a perfectly decorated house. We should bake 12 different kinds of cookies. We should be overflowing with holiday cheer every minute of the day.
It's like we're trying to live up to some imaginary Hallmark movie standard of holiday perfection.
Right. And that can be incredibly exhausting. So maybe this year, we can challenge those shoulds and instead focus on what truly matters to us.
Okay, so ditch the shoulds and embrace the wants. What are some questions we can ask ourselves to help shift that perspective?
Well, instead of asking, what do I need to do to make this the perfect holiday?
Mhm.
What if we asked ourselves, what kind of holiday experience would bring me genuine joy and connection?
Ooh, I like that. It's about turning inwards and tuning into our own desires and needs, rather than trying to meet external expectations.
Exactly. And maybe instead of focusing on what we need to buy or do, we can focus on cultivating those positive emotions that are at the heart of the holidays. Love, gratitude, connection.
Those are the feelings that create lasting memory,
Right.
not the perfectly frosted sugar cookies or the color-coordinated gift wrap.
Precisely. And those feelings don't require a lot of money or effort. They just require us to be present and intentional in our interactions.
So maybe this year, instead of stressing about having the perfect centerpiece on the table, we can focus on being fully present in the conversations we have with our loved ones.
I love that. And maybe instead of rushing through our gift opening to get to the next event, we can savor the moment and appreciate the thoughtfulness behind each gift.
It's about shifting our focus from the material to the meaningful. And, it's amazing how those small shifts in perspective can completely transform our holiday experience.
Absolutely. And sometimes the simplest things can be the most impactful. Maybe it's taking a few minutes each day to reflect on what you're grateful for, or writing a heartfelt letter to someone you love.
Or maybe it's just giving yourself permission to slow down, breathe deeply, and enjoy the simple beauty of the season. The twinkling lights, the scent of pine needles, the sound of laughter.
Those are the moments that truly nourish our souls, and those moments are available to us all, regardless of our budget or our to-do list.
This has been such an insightful conversation. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for navigating the holidays with more intention and joy. What's one final piece of advice you would give our listeners as they head into this season?
Well, I would encourage everyone to remember that the holidays are ultimately about connection. Connection with ourselves, with our loved ones, and with the spirit of the season.
And that connection doesn't require perfection. It just requires us to show up with open hearts and a willingness to embrace the messy, imperfect beauty of it all.
Well said. To all our listeners out there, we wish you a happy, healthy, and stress-free holiday season. Remember to prioritize your well-being, set those boundaries, and most importantly, savor the moments that truly matter. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics. We'll see you next time.